Welcome to Tempida. Tempida is a brand new application for physicians and healthcare providers that dramatically improves the speed of clinical documentation. This tutorial is a complete guide to the use of Tempida. After you register for an account with Tempida and verify that account, and then you log in, this is the screen that you'll see. This is the Tempida editor. When you first launch the editor, you'll be presented with this empty template. Templates in Tempida are user-programmable, intelligent forms that you can use to create clinical documents. Tempida templates have two separate sections. The top portion above the red line is called the header. Any information or text in the header is not part of the output document. The lower portion, which is called the body, does contain text that is part of the output document. Templates in Tempida are stored either privately for your own private use or publicly so that they are available for any user in the system. To open an existing template, simply click the Open button. The Mine tab will show you all templates that you own, whether they're private or public. To search for an existing template, simply type in some text into the search field, and then select the template you want to open. The text in Tempida templates are displayed in three separate colors. Black text is simply editable text like you could edit in any ordinary word processor. Blue text are fields that you can select different values for, and green text are calculated values that Tempida will automatically fill in for you. As you can see in this carpal tunnel initial visit template, all of the variables that I can select for this note are in the top, in the header portion. What I have to do to complete this note is simply select the different variables for this particular patient, and the note is automatically generated for me. For example, in this carpal tunnel initial visit template, if the patient is coming in for their left side instead of their right, I simply click on this right field and it automatically switches to the opposite value. This type of field that switches between two different values is called a toggle field. The next field, which is the duration, which represents the duration of symptoms for this particular patient, is a single selection field. Clicking on it will allow you to pick a single item from a list of items. So for example, in this patient, let's suppose they had symptoms for the past 3 months. I simply select that. Anytime I'm selecting options in these different fields, the note at the bottom is automatically changing for me and reflecting the change in these options. This next field, which is for the physical exam, is a multi-selection field. A multi-selection field allows you to select one or multiple items from a list of items. So for example, in this particular field, you can see that the Tinel's test and Phelan's test are both selected. If I unselect one and then close this window, you'll see that the text changes to positive Phelan's but negative Tinel's. If I unselect both, then the text will change to negative Tinel's or Phelan's. If I select both, then the text will automatically change to positive Tinel's and Phelan's. Not only does the text change here, but it automatically changes in the document below. The next field is a field for conservative treatment. As you can see, fields can be empty like this one presently is. So to complete a document, I simply have to select the options from the fields at the top in the header, and the note is automatically generated for me. Even large sections of the note are changed for me dependent on my selections at the top. For example, on this patient, if I want to change my plan from doing surgery to doing an injection, I simply select that at the top, and notice how the text at the bottom completely changes to reflect that change. Even complex notes like this can be generated in Tempida with a few simple clicks. Once you are done generating your note, how does it get into your EHR system? That's very simple. Simply click on the Preview button, which gives you a preview of what this note will look like in your EHR system. Clicking on the Preview button will automatically also copy this text of this note to the clipboard. Once the text is on the clipboard, simply switch to your EHR system and open a new document and paste the text in as a new note. Because Tempida uses the universal clipboard to transfer text from a document into your EHR system, Tempida is compatible with any EHR system in existence. You'll notice that this particular document is set up for a male patient. For example, this sentence reads, "This patient is seen by me for a new problem regarding his left hand. He is complaining." What if this was a female patient and you wanted to use the same template? Clicking the female button will automatically change every masculine gender word in the text automatically to the female gender. This can be done while either in preview mode or in edit mode. Whenever you create templates for the first time in Tempida, you should always make them for the male gender, because Tempida, when it opens documents and templates for the first time, always defaults to the male gender. You can easily switch to the female gender by clicking the female button. Tempida can be used to generate any type of text-based notes, including op notes, clinic notes, hospital consults, discharge summaries, or any other clinical note that is text-based. Here's an example of an operative report in Tempida. To generate the operative report, simply select the options at the top, including implant size and other options, and the note is automatically generated for you. To export the note, once again, just click the preview button, and the entire text for this op note is copied to the clipboard, and then simply paste it into a new document in your EHR system. Since Tempida is completely web server based, you have access to all of your templates, no matter what computer you're on, and no matter what your location, with any computer that has a web browser. This means you have complete control over your templates, and they are not locked into an EHR system. Let's go into more detail about the different types of fields that you can create in Tempida. You have complete control over the fields and can program them to represent whatever values you choose. A toggle field is a field that toggles between two separate values. Clicking on it switches to the other value. A single select field is a field that allows you to select from a single item from a list of items. A multi-select field allows you to select multiple items from a list of items. Simply check the items that you want to have selected and uncheck the ones you don't want to have selected, and then click the close button. Notice how Tempida automatically formats the text for all the selected items with commas in between and an "and" at the end. Multi-select fields can also be programmed to include the items that were not selected. For example, in this multi-select field, if I select cough, fever, and chills, but don't select body aches and myalgia, notice how the text says complains of cough, fever, and chills, but denies body aches or myalgia. A free text field is a field where you can enter text into with your keyboard. A date field represents a date. A date field in a template will automatically be pre-filled with the current date. Date fields can also include the time, as in this example. Mirror fields are fields that mirror the value of another field in the template. For example, this mirror field is a mirror of the toggle field up here at the top. Mirror fields are linked together with the fields that they are mirroring, such that clicking on either the mirror field or the original field changes their value. So for example, if I click on this mirror field, notice that it changes, but the field that it's mirrored with also changes. I can also change the original field, and the mirror field changes. You can have multiple mirrored fields in a document. Mirror fields are very powerful features of Tempida. This means that changing the value of one field that's mirrored in the document will automatically change the values of all the other mirrors of that particular field through the entire document. The final type of field is a calculated field. A calculated field is automatically calculated for you and is displayed in green text in Tempida documents. For example, this calculated field is a field whose value is calculated dependent on the value of another field. This particular calculated field is dependent on the value of this single select field. Notice that the text says the patient has had symptoms for 1 month. If I change this to 1 week, notice how the text changes to the patient has had symptoms for less than 1 month. If I change this to 6 weeks, notice that the text changes to the patient has had symptoms for greater than 1 month. You have complete control over calculated fields and can program calculated fields to display text to your liking, dependent on the values of other fields in the document. Tempida has a very powerful sharing feature that allows you to share your created templates with your colleagues anywhere in the country. When you save a template that you've created, you have the option of giving it a name, which specialty it belongs to, and as to whether that template should be public or private. Private templates are only accessible by you, whereas public templates can be accessible by any user in the system. Therefore, you can open templates that are publicly available from any other user. When you have a template open, the text at the top tells you more information about this particular template. It tells you the owner that created the template, whether it's public or private, what its ID is, and also which specialty it belongs to. The name of the template is displayed at the top in blue text. Next to the name is an options button that will only show up on a template that you are the owner of. Clicking on the options button will allow you to change the options for this template, including the name, whether it's public or private, or whether you want to delete this template. The Revert to Save button will revert this template back to the saved version that's stored in the cloud. You can work on multiple documents at once inside of Tempida. To do this, simply click the New Tab button, which will create a new tab in your browser and allow you to work on a separate document. You can easily switch between tabs in your browser by clicking back and forth. The Other button reveals some other features of Tempida. The Export font allows you to select which font and which size you want the exported text to be in when it's copied to the clipboard. Sharing allows you to access the sharing of templates and will be discussed in the next section. Tempida, when it exports formatted text, does so in HTML format. Some EHR systems do not accept HTML formatted exported text, and the formatting may be lost when transferring text to them. Clicking on this option will download a small helper application to your local system, if required, to reformat the text for your particular EHR system. The Insert Signature function will insert some signature text. For example, if we select the Insert Signature function here, it puts in #signature into your template. This text is automatically replaced on export to the user's name that is logged in. The Tempida editor can be in 3 separate modes when you're using documents. The mode is selected by these 3 buttons. The edit mode is the normal mode that you're in when you're working with documents. The edit mode allows you to select the value of different fields, and as a result of your selections will change the text automatically in the body to reflect your selections. The preview mode gives you an idea of what the exported document will look like. In addition, the preview mode also copies the output of the current document to the clipboard. You must go into preview mode before leaving Tempida and then pasting this document into your EHR system. The design mode is where you actually create and define templates. This is covered in the next video regarding how to create templates. This concludes this video of the basic functions of Tempida. You should next watch the next video, which is on how to design and create templates. This is accessible from the Help menu.